Today, drama means femme fatale, drama means bad luck, and drama means smirking evilly even when you haven't done anything evil. Hi, welcome to DramaMeans. Today we're talking about the 2026 Korean drama Siren's Kiss.
And first, a summary. An insurance fraud investigator gets drawn into a case involving a string of mysterious deaths and ends up entangled in a relationship with the main suspect.
So, I watched this without Ryan.
Yeah, I did not. This is one of the ones I did not get the pleasure of enjoying. I mean, from the reports, spoiler alert, enjoying may be a silly way to say that.
At one point, it went from watching it or binge watching it to hate watching it. And I don't exactly know when the turn came, but, you know, it just happened. So I got to a point where I'm like, oh, I hate this so much, but I'm gonna finish it. And I don't know why.
Well, also, too, if you binge something, maybe it's a little easier to, like, get through it rather than having to think about it from week to week and, like, dreading going back and going, I have to watch it this week. So at least you can get it over with, rip the Band-Aid off, get through it.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, usually I watch as it airs, and when I do that, like, if I don't like it anymore, it's really easy to stop watching.
Right.
But then because I was binge watching it, like, I just kept going, and then, you know.
And then you're done.
And
now we get to talk about it.
Yeah. It was a little short. I think it was like a 12-episode drama, so it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, well, at least it's short.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, we talked about this before of someone commented on one of our previous episodes that we kind of like went off on The Sun from Another Star.
Yeah.
And they commented like, wow, did you guys even like this drama?
Yeah, it's so sad that, because it did kind of come off as a rant episode, but what we didn't convey was we actually did really like the show. We just wish there were things that were done better, and we wish that they had given it more care to make it, like, fantastic, which I feel like the production failed, you know, the story and the actors, right? In this one, it is just full-on rant episode. I really hate this.
Well, and it's interesting because sometimes the ones that get you the most are actually the ones that are, like, so close to being good. And you're like, oh, if you'd have just done X and Y better, like, this would be my favorite show, and I want it to be my favorite show, and it just isn't. And then there are the ones like this where you're just, it's offensive that it exists.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't think about how, like, offensive that it exists, but yeah, it kind of, I mean, there are some people that do like the show, so.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's allowed to feel however they want to feel. And some people, you know, watch shows with half their brain turned off and are folding laundry. Like, that's the thing, you know, we kind of always say of, like, the two-screen environment where you're scrolling through social media while you're watching shows. And maybe it passed the time and it did the thing that you wanted it to do.
Yeah.
Like, just because we don't like something, we're not judging anyone who does like it. Like what you want to like. Who cares?
I was actually talking to some friends, and of course, Siren's Kiss came up, and my friend's like, oh, should I skip it? And I was like, I would, but you can try it if you want. And I was like, one of my biggest gripes is how over the top everything was.
Right.
And then she had mentioned, like, that sometimes, like, the fun of K-dramas is because it is so over the top, kind of like, you know, the telenovelas and, you know, the lakwons.
And like, the verticals.
The verticals. Oh my god. I saw a reel online, and it's like a vertical Chinese drama, and it was so ridiculous, where, like, the woman was, like, on the stairs and slips and somehow ends up hanging on the chandelier, and as she's hanging and swinging, she accidentally kisses the guy as she's hanging upside down. Like, I mean, you know, like, ridiculous like that, right? But some people really enjoy that, and some people really enjoy the over-the-top K-drama style. And this, in true K-drama fashion, it had all of it. All of the, like, ridiculousness, the tropes, the, You know, the stuff that kind of like made K-dramas popular back in the day, it's just a little outdated and like overplayed now in 2026.
I mean, I'm going to reference this movie a couple times while we're talking about this, but when it comes to over the top, I'm okay if that's consistent with the subject matter. Like, The Naked Gun is over the top and ridiculous, but it's consistently that way. It's supposed to be that way. The over-the-topness is like serving a purpose. And when things are over the top, but then also trying to be grounded at the same time.
Yeah, and taking itself too seriously.
That's exactly right. Like, you want me to treat this as like a serious character drama where actors are acting and you're like, oh, they could win awards for this. And then the next scene, people are acting like they're in a vertical. Like, no, that's no longer like, oh, that's just the style. That's just that over-the-top style. It's like, no, that's you wanting all of your different cakes all at the same time, and it's just lame to me.
Yeah. I want to go a little bit into, like, what a siren really is. I know they compare it to Femme Fatale, but in my opinion, a siren is, yes, you know, in Greek mythology, they're these, you know, women, well, bird-like women, right? They sing this melodic tune where it's so hard to, like, not just be enchanted by it, and then they go and, you know, either sail towards danger or, like, you know, swim towards the danger, you know, and then they end up dying, right?
Well, yeah, the metaphor, and, like, obviously, like, the origin of it all is this metaphor is the thing that you can't reach. It's the Icarus and the sun. It's all the things that lure you in and make you, you know, throw yourself across the rocks and destroy your ship.
Yeah.
And it is, the siren song is so alluring that no one can resist it.
Yeah. And the thing is, in the mythology, like, sirens are doing something, right, to lure.
Well, it's their song.
Yeah, it's their song. It's not just that they're beautiful. You know, and even though, like, later along the line, like, I think Christianity took it as, like, be careful of women. The women will, like, you know.
Oh, yeah. Women are evil.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
That kind of thing, right? But originally, in Greek mythology, is they're actually doing something to, like, lure you in, right? And the thing is, they are so captivating. And yes, they're supposedly beautiful. I don't know how, like, beautiful woman, human head with bird body is, like, beautiful, but sure. Okay? Like,
I just remember, like, reading the Odyssey and then watching, like, the movie and, you know, the stuff when I was in school when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. Like, the emphasis is really placed on the song. Like, yes. I think Odysseus makes the rest of his crew fill their ears with wax, but he wants to hear it, so he ties himself to the mast of the ship so he can hear the song but then can't actually go for it, right? And then he goes absolutely bonkers. Yeah.
So it is definitely the song. Whereas here, it's like, Sola is so beautiful and so captivating that anyone that even just comes across her presence is so, like, blinded and, like, obsesses over her. But, like, the way that they depict her character is, like, she's very cold and, like, unapproachable. And like, most of the people she works with doesn't like her, right? And so, like, that goes against the siren, like, metaphor here because, you know, even though, yes, in the stories, you know, sirens usually lure the men, but their song captivates everybody, even women, right? Like, if a woman is on the boat, they also will get enchanted, right? So her character should be so absolutely personable that everyone loves her. You know, and in the show, like, most people don't like her, especially the women. All the women, like, hate her.
Yeah.
And so it's just kind of this weird, and, like, how cold her character is to be the siren, right?
Yeah, I don't understand the coldness and the sirenness. Other than I think a lot of K-dramas really love this trope of, like, what I would call the bitch on wheels, like the super cold, hardened exterior, like no one really gets to know her because she's so like lips pursed all the time.
So what we've noticed, in recent days or years is a lot of Korean dramas and stories, when they want to depict a really strong, capable woman, they're like cold and like aloof and, Yeah,
they're a bitch.
Yeah.
I mean, weirdly. Like, it's like, oh, if you're the strong, silent, unapproachable type, that means you're a strong woman.
Yeah, which is kind of, honestly, I feel that's very outdated, because if we start watching the Chinese dramas, these strong women are super personable and like funny and like just they're strong in so many ways. Like as we were talking about Pursuit of Jade, like she's a strong woman, but she's also really personable and like everyone loves her. So I don't understand why like at this time in in 2026, in these K-dramas, women are still depicted as these really, if they're strong and capable, they're also cold and heartless.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's just like this idea of like women in a man's world, and so that you got to kind of put that chip on your shoulder. Regardless of that, it doesn't really go well hand in hand with this idea of this alluring, like, persona. Like the whole idea of the siren, and even if we want to take this away from like the mythical siren and talk about femme fatale, femme fatales have a charisma about them that is just so obvious that I think that's hard to do when you're also the ice queen.
Yeah, I agree.
Those two things don't match. So I think right away from the show, what we're trying to have her character be is two sides of a coin that don't really feel like the same coin at all.
Yeah. And the saddest part is this show lies to us over and over and over again. And, like Ryan absolutely hates it when the production, how they film things, it lies to the audience.
Well, I think it's the number one betrayal of an audience. Of you can trick me, you can hide things, you can present things in a way and like make me think one thing, and you can zig when I thought you were going to zag. What you can't do is show me things that are just blatantly untrue and then later go, look how clever we were. I bet you didn't guess that ending. Yeah, because you lied to me.
Yeah, exactly. So in this show, over and over again, everyone suspects that she is the killer, right? And then something happens where it proves that she's not the killer. Or like she finds out something and you're like, oh, and then they go kind of like when no one's looking, she evilly smiles to herself, right? And I'm like, but she hasn't literally like in this whole show, she's done nothing.
Evil.
Nothing evil.
Yeah, she's not doing anything she's being accused of.
Yeah.
She's not getting away with anything.
Yeah, but yet she's evilly smiling. Like, ooh, like, did she really do it? Did she really get away with murder? And it's like, well, she didn't murder anybody, so why is she evilly smiling? Like,
Yeah.
And it's just like, I know what you want us to think, but when you keep lying to us like that and doing stuff where I'm like, oh, she's getting away with something, and then she didn't really do any of that, so like, why is she acting like she got away with something?
Well, what is the purpose of the smiling in, like, what's the apparent purpose and what's the actual purpose, right?
Yeah.
So the apparent purpose is, ooh, maybe she's getting away with something. Like, that's what they're telling the audience. Okay, that's fine, have that. But then you also have to give me, in retrospect, the actual purpose. Why was she actually smiling evilly in that scene? And if the answer is no reason, you suck.
Just to, like, fake the audience out.
Which that's not a reason. Like,
Yeah.
that's not the reason has to be character grounded and has to appear on screen. It's not because the writer wanted it, because the director wanted it. I remember a coworker of mine who's a very smart writer. He was watching a show. I think the show was called like The Killing or something, and it was a murder mystery show. not similar and dissimilar in tone to this. And he came in at the finale and he was so mad. And he's like, I think this show has basically like ruined my appetite for this genre, because they showed a scene where they reveal something to the audience and they go to this character and the character's alone in a room with just themselves and like sees the news and gasps, oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened. Well, they were the killer. They ultimately were the killer. So who were they performing for in a room by themselves when they saw that news? So now you're just lying to me.
Yeah.
And he's like, now, if you're going to do that, I can no longer trust you in a murder mystery genre. I can no longer trust that you will give me a satisfying ending, because you may have just completely betrayed me.
The thing is, they want to walk that that gray area. They want you to believe that maybe she is the killer, right?
Yeah.
But then they also want their cake and eat it too, where like they want a happy ending where like she didn't do shit.
But they also want like the guy to fall in love with her and him not be an idiot for doing so.
Yeah.
Right? So you want all these different things. And you can't always have them.
Yeah. Like, I don't understand why he's so obsessed with her, very, very early on, like, willing to, like, give up his life for her. Like, it's because he found it sad. Like, she was sad.
No, she's a siren. Automatically, just by looking upon her, then he's like, I'll do what you want.
Okay, I admit, like, let's forget that Park Min-young has had a lot of work done and her face is a little, like, mask looking nowadays. But, like, for the longest time, I've, like, loved her. I've always thought she was beautiful. No matter how beautiful you are, like, literally, she hasn't really given him the time of day. She's like mad at him most of the time because he thinks that she's the killer. Like, there's no reason for him to be like, I am obsessed with you.
Yeah, okay. But
whatever, like, I know people get obsessed with other people, like, really easily, so whatever it is, but, like, it's just confusing why he was so willing to be like, you know what, use me as bait. You know, I'm willing to die for you. I'm willing to be the next target of this killer, you know, kind of thing. And
other than it's a foolproof plan, as seen on Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. So, I don't know. There are so many things wrong with it, and one of the biggest things is I think it's so, like, cartoony. The actor, Kim Jong-hyun, like, I remember thinking that he was a good actor back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but he was so over the top and, like, I feel like normal people, when they see him act, would be like, wow, he's a method actor. He's such a good actor. But it was so over the top and so, like, so cartoony that I was just like, it made me laugh how, like, over the top his acting was, right? And so his character basically is Sola's ex-boyfriend who supposedly died in Syria, but really he switched identities with the person that actually died. And then he got a bunch of plastic surgery because, he was in a bombing area and, like, his face got all torn up. So he got plastic surgery and apparently looks exactly like the person that actually died because there were pictures that they showed, right? And there was, like, no flaws at all. Like, he just looks exactly like the person in the picture. And then the only thing that gave it away was actually two things. His allergy to peanuts and his irises.
Okay.
Right? Forgetting that Dong-joon, the actor that plays the original guy that she dated, her first boyfriend, that supposedly died in Syria, is 5'7", and the actor who plays Junbum. Is it Junbum?
Yep.
Okay. Is 6 foot.
Wait, he got taller?
He got taller.
Wait, so he went to Syria, he was in an explosion, and he came home and he was taller.
Well, that's the thing. Yes, because he had to pretend to be the guy that's 6 foot, even though he originally was 5'7".
Wait, so did they like ever address this? Like
No.
They weren't like, "Oh wow, you're like a lot taller. Did you get like shin extensions or something?"
No, because they didn't pay any attention to this. And the thing is, in all of the like flashbacks, you never see Dongjun's actual height, right? And then in the picture, both guys are sitting down. So they're going to ignore the fact that we know who Dongjun is, Dongjun from Zaya, who is 5'7", and ignore the fact that the other actor, Jung Hyun, he is 6 foot.
I mean, I guess they're just hiding the ball and pretending that isn't the truth.
Yeah.
But I do think that it brings up a funnier thing, like, that I've always thought. So, you remember that movie back in, like, the 90s, 2000s, Face Off?
Yeah.
With Travolta and Nicolas Cage? How crazy that movie was, and, like, the whole premise. I bought the whole thing, except for John Travolta's a lot of a bigger dude than Nick Cage. Like, and, like, they throw a line at it, like, "Oh, I'm so sick of, like, being in this, like, fat body," or whatever. And because, like, John Travolta's, like, bigger. I'm like, yeah, but it seems like that would be the hard part. Like, the face thing?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you just take the skin off his face and you do some, like, bone reconstruction and then he looks different.
Sure.
People do plastic surgery and make themselves look very, very different all the time.
But
how do you put one person's body onto another person's body?
I understand that, but there's been so many people who are trying to look like certain celebrities, right? The outcome never is, oh, you look exactly like the celebrity.
Facts. You're spitting facts. I'm still just saying the more unbelievable part is the thing you're saying is the body
type.
How on earth did they also body off? Like, he face-offed. How did they body off?
Exactly. So this whole thing, like, super unbelievable. And the thing is, every time a drama does any of those, where it's like switching identities, I hate it because it's never believable.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think it's a believable premise. Like, I think maybe 100 years ago it was a believable premise, or like, you know what I mean? Like, the Count of Monte Cristo is like one of those, you know, not body switches, but like identity switches, and he shows up and no one can recognize him, and you believe it because of the times.
Yeah,
and
well, of the times, and a lot of time has passed, and he looks different.
Yeah, and I think the author does a really great job of talking about, you know, he's just been through the ringer, he's been in prison, he's just like, he looks like a weathered, just different human.
Yeah.
And his wife, an ex-wife, doesn't recognize him until she's right up close and she sees him in the eyes, and she's like, "Oh, I recognize those eyes." But we live in a society where there's photographs and there's video and there's Facebooks and there's Instagrams, and like, you can look up what people look like so easily. To be able to recreate someone else onto someone else, if it's not taking place in a science fiction film, I no longer believe it.
Yeah.
If it's just like this, where this is supposed to exist in the real world with real world rules.
Yeah.
Except also people can reconstruct their face to look exactly like someone else 100% and no one notices.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like he was gone for 50 years. Like.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of world we live in this show too? And then aliens also? No, I'm just saying. No. But, you know.
Yeah, so, okay, so we have to forget our logic and believe that this guy came back from Syria and plotted against Sola, you know. The thing is, he was tracking her, and, like, yeah, he tracked all her exes and stuff, but ultimately he also was not the person that killed all her exes. Right?
Yeah, so, I mean, there's a lot of very confusing plot lines in this.
Yeah.
And I know they want the zigs and the zags, so you have to have, like, multiple suspects, multiple bad guys, and, like, things that are kind of near missing so that you can get those turns of, like, oh, we think we've solved the problem. Oh, wait, you haven't solved the problem yet. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
But at a certain point, there's too much mustard on this hot dog.
Yes. Because you have him, right? Then you have the owner of the auction house who's like embezzling all this money, like insurance fraud, basically, because what she does is she sells these high-priced artwork to these big conglomerate companies, right? Sell it for a large amount of money, and then they send them off a forgery of it for them to hang at the whatever place. And then either at some point the place burns down or there's an accident and the thing gets ruined, whatever. They claim all the and then the company claims all the insurance money. Or I don't know.
I don't know how insurance fraud works. I don't even want to begin to try to understand.
I
what
don't
the scam
actually
is.
know who gets to claim the insurance money.
But there's a scam involved.
Yes. So not only do they get to sell the work, right, and then she keeps all the work, like the real ones, in her fancy vault that she goes to every night and sits there alone staring at all these things, singing and drinking to herself like a fucking crazy person on this one chair in the middle of the fucking room. And I'm just like, it's so cartoon, right? Like, even if you do have a vault of these paintings, and you do go and, admire your villainy, every night, you don't just go and sit there and, act like an idiot.
What really gave it away for me is that it said villain's lair above the door. It said, if you're a villain, you can come in. No good guys allowed. Frowny face. That's what really messed me up.
It's so silly. Everything's so silly. And then it had all the women hated her so much and was any chance they get, they wanted to sell her out for whatever. And so this girl that she basically grew up with, it's her best friend's younger sister, right? But they all grew up together. And all of a sudden decides that she's a bad guy. And so she's videoing her supposedly bullying the other chick, but what is her name? I don't even know her name.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, the girl that died in the beginning, right? And so she videoed them having an argument, right? And then goes to the police and claims or calls in a anonymous phone call oh, that person didn't commit suicide. She was murdered. Go check it out. And then the police is okay.
If you'd say so.
Yeah. And then the worst police ever going around doing literally they're okay, we think it's this person, so we're not gonna check anybody else. We're only gonna go after this person and hound them until they maybe crack and say something. And it's just okay, well, what about all the other people that could have done it?
So I have a question. So his backstory is he was a cop.
Yes.
And now he's an insurance investigator.
Yeah.
Why isn't he a cop anymore?
Because he's more interested in insurance fraud because his sister died of insurance fraud, was killed for insurance fraud.
So here's my riddle, is if the reason he's good at solving insurance fraud is that he used to be a cop, but the cops are the dumbasses that just chase down every obvious lead and don't do any real police work and are basically buffoons.
Yeah.
Then wouldn't that make him a buffoon? He came from buffoon school, and he went to the fraud department, and he's don't worry, I used to be a buffoon.
Well, the thing is, supposedly he's the only non-buffoon in the buffoonery.
The buffoonery? It's like a patisserie, but for buffoons.
Yeah, so anyway, it's just... This whole show has been so ridiculous. And the thing is, you would get one of these characters as the bad guy in old, K-dramas.
Right. And
now you have three people, right, that are really the bad guys. All three of them are bad.
Well, and that's where it gets to, mysteries are very hard. Let's just go back to 1 second. Of a good mystery in today's day and age is a very hard thing to write because you have the entire internet plotting against you. Like, you have the power of all these message boards guessing every possible thing you could do. And so somewhere on the message board, just by sheer numbers, someone is going to guess what you're doing. Unless you lie to the audience or hide it so well that no one can figure out really what's going on, right?
This was literally so predictable.
Of course it is. But what I'm kind of going to is, like, I get the genre's difficult, but it feels like this just kind of gave up and was like, we'll just do all of the cliche stuff and we'll put it in a big spaghetti bowl and we'll mix it so crazily that you won't know up from down because either do we.
Yeah.
So it's like brilliance by confusion is what they were going for.
Yeah, well,
I've definitely watched movies before where I left thinking, oh, they were just counting on me being so confused that they must be brilliant. Like I watched that and I'm so confused that, well, the filmmakers just must be brilliant because I can't even comprehend what I just watched. No, probably not. They're just baffling me with bullshit, as you would say.
Yeah. So who really did it was her best friend.
Yes.
And literally, he got so obsessed with her because she helped him when he was a kid, when they were kids. So he would get beaten up by his dad a lot when his dad was drunk. And so at one point, him and his younger sister are running for their lives, and she comes along and, like, hits the dad over the head and brings him to her warm family who treated them with kindness, right? And she treated him with kindness. In return, he kills her parents, supposedly because for her that she can get the insurance, the life insurance money, right? And live a life that she wants to, and not have to deal with, like, their, they were debt ridden and
right.
So he kills her parents, then basically lets her believe that she's the one that killed her own parents.
Yes.
Right?
Nice guy.
Yeah. For, like, years and years and years, like tens of years, right? Like, she believed that she, had a hand in killing her parents, and she was the only one that survived the fire, and then her parents had died from the fire. And then she was so depressed, she had to go see a therapist, right? And then the therapist molests her through her sessions, and then basically blackmails her into dating him because he says that he'll go out and tell people that she actually killed her parents.
Right, also great dude.
Yeah. So then the best friend kills him, which, you know what? That therapist deserves it.
Wow. I got dark.
Right? Okay, whatever. But also, like, now we have the therapist's ex-girlfriend stalking her, right? And so then the bestie, also kills her. Then kills her fiancé because he's wondering if she's dating him for his money. That was the only reason that he had to kill the fiancé, right?
That one, you've lost me there. He killed the fiancé because he was worried the fiancé was marrying her for her money?
No. Because the fiancé kept wondering if she was marrying him for his money.
The fiancé was worried that she was a gold digger.
Yes.
And so the best friend is like, I'll show you, I'll murder you.
Yeah. And also at one point he found out that the fiancé had gotten life insurance and named her as the beneficiary. So
then she gets money out of it.
Yeah. Except for before he gets killed, he actually canceled the life insurance policy.
So I will say, like, I get it. Like, the guy, our main character, our main lead, or one of our main leads, is an insurance fraud investigator. So, like, the show should involve insurance fraud.
Yeah.
It seems like they went a little too far with how many insurance payouts and insurance frauds and insurance weird stuff was happening.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, okay, we get it. It's a show about insurance fraud, but, like, chill already.
It doesn't need to be every single person.
Right, just like every single person doesn't need to be crazy and evil.
Yeah, true. That's true. And the thing is, her fiancé actually isn't crazy and evil. Like, literally loved her, just had, Concerns, like a little bit of doubt.
So, mishmash mess is really what this whole thing sounds like.
It really is, because they just want too many things happening at once. Like, not only are they solving the murder mysteries of all these people, then they want to add in, like, the big insurance fraud of, like, the paintings and stuff. And then they also she, like, blames the owner of the auctioneer, or the auction house, like, for her parents' like demise, basically, because the owner of the auction house, like, had sought out her dad to commit forgery, where he, like, forged all these, like, famous paintings for her for this. Basically, she's been doing insurance fraud for a long time, right? And so then people found out about it, and so then his name, was in the gutter, basically. And so then he had to borrow money in order to, like, survive and stuff, right? Because now he can't get work. And I think possibly he had to pay off some like, fines or whatever, too. And so then they were in crazy amount of debt, like, with loan sharks, and then the loan sharks were, like, beating him up and stuff. And so then the besties basically gave them the idea to buy life insurance from his own mom, right? The bestie's mom. Mm-hmm. And then kill themselves so that she could get the money. So it was like, he planted that idea in her parents' head.
Yeah.
So she came home, even though they had sent her out, she came home early, saw that the dad had already offed himself, and the mom was, like, ready to, and then, like, gonna set the house on fire. All right. And so the mom was, like, basically pleading for her to, like, light the house on fire. And so she was gonna light the house on fire and die along with her parents, but instead she kind of fainted.
Right.
And then the bestie came in and lit the fire and then dragged her out of the house, right?
I'm sorry, I don't use this word very much. This show's stupid.
This show is so bad.
It's the whole thing. Like, I'm trying in my mind to, like, justify, like, where was the kernel of the idea that made someone want to make this. Like, if you sit in a room and you pitch your show, and you're like, hey, I've got this awesome show. It's this insurance fraud investigator, and it's a femme fatale, and it's like, but, like, there's just nothing here. Like, I'm like, okay, but maybe, no, there's just nothing here. It's just dumb.
And ultimately, the moral of the story is, don't help anybody, because they're going to turn around and make you look like you're a murderer.
Well, I mean, for her, she's the siren and everyone's going to be infatuated with her, and it's ultimately what causes all of her problems, right?
Yeah.
So it goes back to what we talked about at the beginning of the character not really matching what they want, because what this character really should have been is someone that everyone adores.
Yeah.
Right? And it's just like, oh, everyone loves you.
Yeah.
Like, what a wonderful life it is when everyone loves you. Actually, no. When everyone loves you, love turns to obsession. Obsession turns to murder.
Yeah.
And so she's so loved but can never have love. Like, there's, like, something thematic in that is just completely buried under ludicrous storytelling.
Yeah. So
this is getting a high rating.
You know, My rating is swearing to never board again.
That's pretty low.
Yeah.
That's real low.
Yeah.
I mean, you finished it, so I don't think you can give it, like, throwing up buckets. Like,
no.
You did finish it.
I've definitely watched worse, so, and it, and yet again, I do like Park Min-young, and I do have to say I've seen her act better in other things. And I just don't know. Maybe it's the director. I think I looked up the director, and there were a couple things that he had done. Like, I liked Chicago Typewriter. I believe he's directed that. I just don't know why this drama exists, to be honest. It just could have been so much better. The acting could have been better, like less over the top. Like, I understand this is like kind of like the Korean way of acting, which is very like over the top and like, your eyes are bulging until like they're about to pop out, and like every vein on your forehead and neck are showing, and your eyes are like blood red kind of thing. But like, it's just too much. Like, it needed to be toned down. And honestly, I feel like they really need to dig in and, like, really understand, like, what emotions all the characters have. Because I feel like all the emotions are very surface level at this point. And also, I don't know if it was meant to be this way, but Park Min-young's makeup was fucking terrible in this. Like whoever tried to contour her face did not understand what contouring was. It just looked bad.
Well, they're trying to probably give her a very dramatic look and just went too far with it.
Yeah. Anyway, I hated it.
See, I mean, you just said it, and I actually don't agree with you. As you just said, this could have been better. I don't agree with you. I think, obviously I didn't watch it, but from what you were talking about, this couldn't have been better. This needed to be something else in order to be better.
True.
Like, this is a pile of garbage, and like, there's just no saving it. It would have had to been something completely different.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just pick out, like, and that's kind of how we started this whole conversation of Son from Another Star. You can go, oh man, if only they had done these two things, how much better would the show have been, and it would have, like, been one of our favorite shows.
Yeah.
You can't say that about this.
No, definitely not. So, yeah, that was my hate watching experience. I haven't hate watched in a while because I've learned to drop shows. Like, it took me a long time because back in the day, no matter how much I hated it, I would always finish it because I'm like, what if the ending, like,
redeems it?
Yeah. And then as time went on, I told myself, you know what? I need to learn to just drop it. If I really just am so miserable watching it, I just need to drop it. So a lot of times when it's like shows that are this bad, I do drop it, but I binge watch this whole thing, and I had a lot of time that weekend, and so and
here we are.
And here we are, but we get an episode out of it, so
there we go.
Yeah. Anyway, that is it for us this week, and thanks for listening.
We'll see you next time.